Nestled in the heart of Palatka, Florida, Veritas Steel's southernmost steel fabrication facility is hard at work producing steel superstructures for major bridges and heavy steel structures throughout the central and eastern regions of the U.S. We operate out of 3 plant locations, Eau Claire in Wausau, Wisconsin, and the plant you see here in Palatka. Together, our plants fabricate more than 60,000 tons of structural steel per year across 600,000 square feet of enclosed fabrication space. Our Palatka plant sits on a 120-acre site with more than 200,000 square feet of building facilities that house equipment for complex bridge and girder projects. But our Palatka plant has a unique advantage. It's located right next to the St. Johns River, which connects us to the Intercoastal Waterway and enables us to receive raw material shipments and ship fabricated material to job sites via barge. This water access allows us to quickly transport steel up and down the East Coast, which helps us keep our projects on schedule, one of Veritas's top priorities. In fact, we don't let any obstacle get in the way of our 4 core principles: safety, quality, delivery, and customer satisfaction. We're a people-first company, and people first means safety first. Let's take a closer look at how our Palatka plant turns raw material into erectable steel components. First, raw material in the form of steel plates is brought in by barge, rail, or truck to a designated location in our yard. Then we begin the plasma cutting process. As you can see here, the plate processor cuts into the plate using plasma. This process happens on the burn table, which sits over a pool of water to reduce noise and prevent smoke fumes. Next, the processed plates are welded together. Welders use a process known as butt splicing through a submerged arc weld to join the plates. Then, a gantry moves the weld machine across the plates to fill in the remaining groove. The welders now clean out the flux and return the machine to its original position, where it repeats the process until the plates are completely welded together. After welding, the new, larger plate is flipped over, and the newly formed joint is smoothed through a process called back gouging. Back gouging ensures that any residual metal is removed from the joint before the plate moves on to the final weld. And yes, it's loud. Once we're finished with welding, we remove the weld reinforcement. Weld reinforcements must be removed in bridge components to facilitate testing and ensure good fatigue performance and tension splices. But no raw material is turned into a fabricated piece without our state-of-the-art quality control process. Let's take a look. Here, we see what's known as ultrasonic testing. Ultrasonic testing is a high-tech process where a technician uses an electronic transducer to send high-frequency sound waves into a weld. This process helps detect flaws in the weld, as the sound waves produce images that help technicians identify deficiencies within the weld. Now we move on to the mill scale removal process. Here, a special machine removes mill scale from the flange. While mill scale doesn't always need removal, bridge codes require that it's removed in web-to-flange welds. When the flange is ready to be attached to the web, we'll begin a process called tack welding, where the flange is attached to the web through arc welding. Then a welder uses submerged arc welding to weld the flanges and web together. Submerged arc welding uses flux to shield the arc, while the welder goes over the arc with a preheating torch, followed by the welding equipment. Once the submerged arc welding process is complete, the girder is drilled for field splices with the help of a gantry. Once this process is complete, we end up with a component called a girder. When it's time to paint the girders, Veritas either uses special coatings or leaves the steel to weather. Here you can see the paint being sprayed onto the girder before it's left to cure. Sometimes the steel is left to weather. This is how we get weathering steel. Girders are made of weathering steel to protect from corrosion because the steel forms a protective oxide layer, also known as patina. The fabricated pieces are then stored in our outdoor material storage yard until it's time for shipping. Since this plant is located on the St. Johns River, we can easily ship fabricated pieces by way of barge. We're also able to ship fabricated components by rail or truck. From cutting raw material to shipping finished components to the field, our Palatka plant remains a critical driver of our company's success. We're proud of our Palatka team and their dedication to improving America's infrastructure, one carefully fabricated piece at a time. Want to learn more about our steel bridge solutions? Contact Veritas Steel today.